you guys, it is me, Lanice, and I am here with another nursing video for you guys. Before we get started, let me introduce myself, even though I know a lot of you guys already know who I am. Just in case you don't, my name is Lanice. I am a registered nurse in the state of North Carolina. I currently live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was an LPN for 6 years, from 2014 to 2020, until I graduated with my RN license last year in 2020. And I will say, going back to school was the best decision I've ever made. So if you're an LPN or a CNA watching this, I strongly encourage you to go back to school, because things really change when you become an RN from an LPN. But anyways, like I said, my name is Lanice. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I ask that you please subscribe. I ask that you please click the bell notification so you know when I have more videos that post. And I ask that you share this with anybody that's interested in nursing, anyone who's already a nurse, whoever, somebody that's in nursing school, anybody. Share with any and everybody that you think would be interested in the content that I give you, because I do nursing, I do lifestyle, I'm locking my hair, so I do a lot of lock videos, and I do mental health videos. So anybody that you know that may need any of those topics, send it to them, and make sure you subscribe too, because I am 8 followers away from 500, and I am really trying to grow my channel. Excuse me, ooh, got a little choked up. That's how happy I am. But anyways, I wanted to come today, I'm unlocking my phone. I wanted to come to you guys today and just tell you guys a little bit about staffing agencies that take both LPN and RNs. Just give you a couple of staffing agencies that I have personally worked for, or I've had close friends and co-workers work for, and then if I've already worked for them, kind of give you a base pay rate for what they pay LPNs, and if I've worked there as an RN, I will tell you what I was getting paid as an RN also. And just give you guys who are LPNs, just give you guys a couple of companies that do allow LPNs to travel nurse, because as an LPN, I was not aware that we could do travel nursing until later on down the line when it was already too late. So I just want to let you guys know that if you're an LPN, it is still possible to travel and make good money. So yeah, let's get into it. So I have my little list on my phone. There's absolutely no way I can remember all these places. So staffing agencies, let me explain to you if you don't already know. A staffing agency, of course, is an agency that has employees who go to different nursing facilities and they work for that facility, whether it be for a day, weeks. Sometimes you can sign a contract for months. It all depends, but you're going and you're filling in a need for that facility. So if you work for a staffing agency, you are already expected to know just about everything. The way that staffing agencies work is you have to already have experience. So when you go into these places, you can already fall in line. Sometimes if you work for an agency, they will give you like a day or two of training before they expect you to just get out there on your own. And normally that training isn't to teach you about medications or teach you things that you should already know. It's more so getting you acclimated to the charting system that they use in that facility. Now, majority of the facilities that I know that have a lot of agencies come in, and agency nurses come in, or have a lot of travelers come in into the nursing home, they use point-click care to chart. And point-click care is very easy. It's not the only one that I've seen. However, it's probably the easiest one that I've seen. So if you haven't already gotten used to it or gotten used to the ways that they chart in that facility, they'll give you a couple of days of training on charting and the programming, and other than that, you're expected to take off and soar in there. Okay, so a few agencies, some of these agencies are countrywide, and like I said, I live in North Carolina, so some of these agencies are just East Coast, and some of these agencies are just North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, like those core states that are bordering North Carolina. So the first one on my list is Aya. Aya is actually a travel agency. Aya is spelled A-Y-A, and it is a travel agency. And I've never seen, no, I have actually. So I've seen both LPNs and RNs travel, and they are travelers through Aya, A-Y-A. We have a few RNs in the hospital that are working through Aya, have a travel nurse contract through Aya. I have seen on their website that they do also have LPN contracts. I have never personally worked for them. This one is just one that I see a lot in the hospital. The next agency that, again, I have not worked for, but they do allow, this is actually a staffing agency, and they allow LPNs and RNs to work. And I've only seen this staffing agency staff nursing homes, rehabilitation facilities, is Gail. Gail is spelled G-A-L-E, Gail. They have a very easy application process online. Most of the LPNs that I know that work for Gail, they make $30 an hour, and during the COVID season they were making $50 an hour. A facility that I was staffing when COVID first started, like back last summer 2020, I worked alongside, I was there with a different agency, but I did work alongside with some nurses that work for Gail, and we were getting paid around the same thing. I was getting paid $50 an hour, and they were getting paid around $45-50 an hour to work at that same facility. Another facility or staffing agency would be Nightingale, with the N, Nightingale. I have had a lot of co-workers or girls that work with the same staffing agency that I work for. They also work for Nightingale. Nightingale, from what I understand, pays LPNs around $28 to $29 an hour. I believe they staff in more states than just North Carolina. But they were also staffing for COVID units too. So if you work on a COVID unit, then of course you get that bonus pay. Another agency, this one that I have worked for personally, and I still do pick up shifts, it's called Steadfast Medical Staffing. They are located in Virginia. They do staff North Carolina, Virginia, and South Carolina. Working for Steadfast as an LPN, I was getting paid $30 an hour. They pay their RNs $40 an hour. And then whenever I was working in COVID facilities, Steadfast was paying me $50 an hour, and they pay the RNs $60 an hour if you go to a COVID facility. And I still get text messages from Steadfast asking me to come to work, and they still have plenty of COVID facilities that they're trying to staff. So right now is a good time if you're trying to make some extra money, trying to recover from all the money you spent during the holidays. Steadfast is a good way to go. Again, the application process is super easy. The only thing is, as with most staffing agencies, you are considered a contract worker, which means you sign an I-9 form, I think it is. I'm sorry, I'm not a tax preparer, but you sign a form basically, and you're saying that they will not take taxes out of your check. All of your money is untaxed, and you're expected to pay your own taxes at the end of the year. Now, like I said, I'm not a tax preparer. I have heard people that get around that type of stuff. Don't ask me how to do it. I don't know. Just save you some money every time you get paid. Put it to the side, so at the end of the year or the beginning of the next year, when you get paid or you have to pay your taxes or file your taxes, you're not owing a bunch of money, okay? So that's Steadfast. Another agency that I have worked through or worked for is called DNA. That stands for Dedicated Nursing Associates. So I work with DNA as an LPN. I had a travel contract with DNA. I lived in North Carolina, and I got a travel contract for another facility that was in North Carolina that was about 2 hours away from where I lived. I chose, with that travel contract, I chose to get paid by the hour, just because since it was 2 hours away at the time, I felt like it would be okay for me to drive back and forth every day. So I didn't want the living stipend. I wanted to make as much as I could an hour. Again, that wasn't smart, but we'll talk about that another day. But they paid me as an LPN. Now, DNA's pay, first of all, varies contract to contract. And then they also have just regular everyday staffing. So after I found out that the travel nursing, the contract situation was not the best for me and my daughter, I went and just picked up shifts through their staffing. And they staff in many states: Texas, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina. They are countrywide. And I picked up several shifts through DNA last summer when I was in between school and getting my RN license. As an LPN, depending on facility, they paid between $26 and $28 for North Carolina. I'm sure that might change statewide because the cost of living changes from state to state. But I was getting paid between $26 and $28, $29 an hour just as a staff, through their staffing agency. They have several different facilities. Several different facilities are staffed by DNA. DNA is a very legit staffing agency. What you will find is that some staffing agencies are not as put together or legit as others. So you'll run into different hiccups, and that'll be for another video. But DNA is very on it. I very rarely got called off with DNA. When they said that they would pay me, they paid me. I got paid once a week through DNA. They had several facilities that they were staffing. I never had to worry about work with DNA. And again, I was getting paid between $26 and $28. And as an RN, I was getting paid $35 an hour with DNA. The next facility that I have here, or the next staffing agency I have here, is Vital Medical Staffing. I personally have not picked up any shifts through Vital. However, I have worked alongside other nurses that have worked for Vital. I will say that Vital is kind of on the lower end of pay. I think they pay their LPNs about $25 an hour. They are located in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I think they only staff in North Carolina. And like I said, they are on the lower end, but they also staff different types of facilities. They're not only just doing long-term care rehabilitation. They're also doing facilities like drug recovery facilities. And I think they might also staff a few hospitals for their RNs. I'm not sure how much they pay their RNs. I was only interested in them whenever I was working as an LPN. But they have a very easy application process, and if you just want to pick up some extra shifts, want to make some extra money outside of your full-time job, that might be something for you to think about. So the next agency that I have here is Maxim. So Maxim is not necessarily a staffing agency, but more so a home health agency. I think that they start the LPNs off at 23 to 25. Maxim is not just located in North Carolina. They're located in several different states. I'm not sure of which states, but I know that they're not just located here in North Carolina. And that is a good way to also pick up extra shifts. I think that Maxim pays still more than what the average LPN makes. Like in North Carolina, for a long time, I was making between $20 and $21 an hour until I went to a different facility that really needed help and started working for the agency. And when I was offered a position with Maxim, I think that they were paying me around $23, $24, which is still more than $20. Bayata, I'm sure many nurses have already worked for Bayata. They too are a home health agency, but they also staff facilities also. Bayata was paying me, I think, $25 an hour, and this was a few years ago. I was working for them. They were paying me $25 an hour, but Bayata has so much work that you never have to worry about being out of work, which is an issue that you might have with some home health agencies. We'll talk about that another day. But Bayata has a lot of work, and they are so swamped with work that if you pick up extra shift, they will offer you an extra $10 hour a bonus, or they will offer you an extra $100 bonus, stuff like that. So it's very easy to make a good amount of money with Bayata, and home health is kind of easy because you only have one person you're focusing on. Another staffing agency would be Favorites. Personally, I have not picked up any shifts with Favorites. I was interested in working with them because they do They're very trusted. They have a lot of facilities that they staff. They're not just located in North Carolina. I think that they staff in North Carolina, but they're actually located in a state like Missouri or somewhere around there. I'm not sure exactly what state it is, but it's not based in North Carolina, which lets me know that they have other states that they're also staffing. When I was working alongside nurses in the COVID facilities, Favorites was also paying $50 an hour. And they were a lot more reputable. Or when Favorites said that you're gonna work, you're definitely gonna work. It's not any call-offs or anything. Another agency that I have a friend work for is Snap Nurses. Again, I've never worked for them, but I have a friend who's an LPN and she's currently working for them right now. And she will not work for anybody for little bit of money. So I know that she's making some money. So Snap Nurse is another one. Another, I wouldn't call it a staffing agency, it's more of a home health agency, is Kindred. Now, Kindred is very reputable. There are many other states outside of North Carolina. They have different types of positions within Kindred. So just to give you, for an example, you can do home health with Kindred, where you go to work at somebody's home every day, the same person. They also have home health, which is like wound care, where you go to different houses in a day and, you know, do wound care on the patients that are having home health through them. Kindred also has a call center that they allow LPNs to work at. I had an interview at this call center. I didn't get the job, but they have a call center for nurses that LPNs could also work for. I was talking too much, my camera shut off. Another agency would be Gentiva. Gentiva, I believe, is actually a travel nurse company. They allow LPNs to travel nurse with them. Another staffing agency and home health agency is staffing, mostly home health, but it also staffs, is Mission Med Staff. This was one of the first home health, this was actually the first home health company that I had ever worked for. They paid me around $25 an hour, which was a lot back in 2014, 2015. They do have a lot of work. You may be required to travel a little bit. I believe they're only located in North Carolina and maybe South Carolina. I know that they're located on the bordering states of North Carolina, but I think that they're based out of North Carolina. That's where the home office is. If you work for them, you will have some pretty sick home health patients. With them, I saw a lot of trachs, and it's mostly children too that they provide care for. So I saw a lot of children with trachs. I saw a lot of children with G-tubes. It's not an easy job, of course, doing home health, but you know, I enjoyed it, and they were paying well, and they had a lot of work. So yeah, I would definitely recommend Mission Med Staff if you haven't ever heard of them. So a travel agency that allows LPNs to travel and have travel contracts is MAS Medical. These people call me all the time. I've never worked for them. I've never signed a contract with them, but they call me at least once a week, offering me travel nursing contracts, still as an LPN. I mean, I call them back and let them know I'm an RN now, but for some reason they leave me messages asking if I want an LPN travel contract. So obviously they're trying to staff some people. They have contracts to give out. But yeah, that's MAS Medical. And then the last one here on my list, again, that I've never worked for, is another travel agency that's called Arris. I think that's spelled, how do we spell? It's called it's spelled A-U-R-E-U-S. Yeah, Arris. And they also allow LPNs to travel with them. So if you guys are interested, I'll do another video that focuses more on home health, or another video that focuses more on how to make more money through staffing agencies and travel contracts. Right now, I think I've talked long enough. I just wanted to give you guys some companies that will hire both LPNs and RNs, allow them to travel and allow them to staff. And I mean, it's very easy to make money as a nurse. Not that that's all that it's about. Like I tell you guys all the time, it's not just about the money, but it is easy to make money as both the LPN and RN. So if you're an LPN, don't let anybody make you feel any type of way about being an LPN. I've had people tell me that LPN stands for lowest paid nurse, or pretending to be nurse, or you know, stuff like that. And you know, LPNs make more than a lot of people that I know. I was 26 making more than a lot of 26-year-olds were whenever I got my LPN. So don't let anybody make you feel bad. Now, you will make more money as an RN, which is another reason why I've encouraged people to go back to school. But there also are just many more opportunities for RNs than LPNs. I'm sorry to say it, but that's the truth. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys a little, you know, video on that. I hope that you guys learned something from it. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below. If you have any questions about pay for certain companies, I will try to figure it out for you. And maybe there might be a company that I missed that I actually worked for but didn't tell you how much I was getting paid at the time. So just comment down below, ask any questions. And again, if you're new to my channel, my name is Laniece. That's spelled L-A-N-I-E-C-E. I'm sure you can tell by the name of my channel. I am a nurse in the state of North Carolina, and you know, I give you guys this amazing nursing content, so I'm not really sure why you wouldn't want to subscribe. I mean, if you haven't already. So just make sure you click the button down below this video that says subscribe, then click the bell notification next to it so you can get notified when I post new videos, because I post them every week just about. And I just hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you share it with somebody else because you enjoyed it so much. So I am out.